All right, I'm here with Minority Leader Tom Saadi, and we just had this public hearing, and I would say roughly 90 to 95% of the people who came out here today spoke out in regards to the education portion of the budget. Can you just give me your thoughts on what you heard today?
I heard a lot of very good things. First of all, the students that spoke hit the nail on the head. This is about the classrooms and increasing delivery in the classrooms. It's not about cutting teachers. This is about going after the fat. And several of the teachers who spoke tonight talked about that. Top-heavy system, a lot of big salaries at the top. And I think council members, we needed to hear that because, you know what, we're insulated from this. We hear from the superintendent, we hear from the Board of Ed. We don't get the input from the teachers. That's why tonight was great. And there were several teachers who got up, at least two who I spoke with afterwards, who mentioned that they would even be willing to do some salary givebacks if that would mean saving jobs in the classroom. You know what? I think that's great. They stepped up last year and made some concessions. The council recently rejected the administrator's contract because, you know what? Now is not the time to be giving new raises. And the teachers that were there today said they would be willing to do those types of things to save teachers in the classroom. That's what it's about. Maximize dollars to the classroom, not maximize a budget for the sake of increasing it.
Now, one of the things and I understand the confusion because most people don't understand local government, they're not down here a lot. Could you explain your role in terms of the city council's role in terms of the allocation of the money to the Board of Education versus what the Board of Ed does?
The Board of Ed presents its budget to the city. It gives us line items, and then it has a tally at the end. Once the city approves that, the city can't adjust a single dollar within the Board of Education budget. The Board of Ed can do all of that itself. In fact, we can't even change line items when approving the budget. We vote for a lump sum, whether it's $114 million, $109 million. Once it's approved, it's in the Board of Ed's hands. They're the ones that decide along with the administration, the administration of the school system, what programs are cut or not cut, what programs are expanded, what schools may be changed from middle school to primary, what redistricting occurs. The council has no authority over that. Our authority is solely limited to the funding aspect.
So let me just clarify this then. What you're saying, let's say hypothetically speaking, the Board of Ed can come to you with a budget saying we're going to use these, we're going to do with the money you give us, you're proposing to give us, we're going to do these programs. You give them the money. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have to do what they tell you.
By state law, they don't have to do that, and I'll give you a very, very vivid example. Several years ago, there was a shortage or a need for updated books in the school system. So many constituents, parents came to me and other council people. Teachers contacted council members, said, look, you need to fund new books. We asked for the Board of Ed budget to include a $500,000 line item for new books. That was approved in the overall budget. Several months later, we start receiving calls, not so many emails at the time, but calls, where are the new books? Well, we tell the constituents, we tell the teachers, we voted for this. Then we find out that the $500,000 that was proposed for new books was utilized elsewhere because they needed it. The council had no authority to stop that. Or any authority to direct where those dollars would go once we approve it. So we want to be very careful that if we do increase the budget, that it goes to the kids and goes to the classroom. I think the teachers appreciate that, the paraprofessionals appreciate that, the specialists. Most of the people in the Board of Ed system, I think, do appreciate it, but that's why we need to meet each other halfway. And I think we're all in this for the kids because they're the future. My kids are the future for my family, and all of our kids are the future for this community. So let's apply ourselves, have an open dialogue, maybe tighten things up a little bit so that down the road we can expand things if we have a little more money.